When I started at Syndio as the people leader, we were a really small company, and we had a lot of the challenges that an early startup does. You hire from your network, and unfortunately that leads to a predominantly similar group. For us, it was predominantly white employees, and so we wanted to start fresh, and I came in and thought of it as more of a green field for people and culture, and how could we think about doing things the right way, or the way that felt most authentic to us. And so we did a couple things. We spent some time looking at our hiring process. We built in metrics so that we had qualified candidate pools that were diverse. We had, in addition to that, spent a lot of time walking the walk of pay equity and workplace equity. We conducted our first analysis in May of 2022, and we shared those results with our employees and publicly. That really helped build a lot of trust in our transparency with not only our employees, but in accountability to who we are as a business. And since then, we've committed to doing them biannually to help with that continued accountability. When we started our journey with pay equity analysis, we used Syndio, and it was really valuable first into understanding the data visually. So you could see how your employees were paid, and you knew that the data had been run through a sound analysis statistically. In addition to that, you could really drive into all sorts of different layers to understand what is the root cause of any gaps that you might have. It's actually pretty exciting. We recently have done a new survey. I think the result I'm most excited about is we have 94% of our population feels like their leadership keeps them informed. And that actually translates to a really high confidence in leadership and trust. And so you see that flow throughout the organization in a lot of different ways. Other way that I'm most excited about is 97% of our employees would recommend Syndio as a place to work. That's really exciting, and they have a lot of pride in where they work. I think as you're starting the journey, the advice that I would give people leaders is that they don't let perfect be the enemy of good. So start and just begin an analysis and get to know your data. Then I would say be honest with your results and transparent with your team and stakeholders, even if the results aren't what you thought they would be. I think it's important that you really dig into the results and understand what's driving either positive pay equity analysis or workplace equity, or what negative impacts it could be, so that you can start making progress. As you're being transparent, share your plan forward. I think that will ultimately give people trust in not only what you're saying and what you're sharing is honest and accurate, but that you are willing to commit to moving forward. And then the last thing I would just say, it's important to find a partner that you trust and can work with, and whether that's a tool or somebody to help advise with how to communicate your results. Sometimes it's really intimidating to be the one sharing news for the first time, so find a partner that can really help guide you along the way.